Okay, I hope this is up here. Just 1 second, real quick. Um, it's been a while since I've used StreamYards, but because Cindy over there, I had to get it. Gotta make her happy. So before I bring her up here, I want to say something about tonight's topic, and it is about a twist. Okay. So I'm going to give out a trigger warning because some of the topics may be political. It does involve politics to a point, but it's not one side of the spectrum or the other side of the spectrum. It's politics as a whole. Yeah, I am blaming you. Number two, there is a difference between choosing to be homeless and being forced to be homeless. Tonight's topic is not about choosing to be homeless. Tonight's topic is not about people who wish to be put into a situation to save money. Tonight's topic is about people who have no other choice and no other means. Number three, tonight's topic does not also include or is not about what is happening in California, Oregon, or Washington State regarding their homeless, the majority of their homeless problem. The reason why is because that does involve a political spectrum that I am not going to get involved with tonight. What's going on in those states is a lot different than what's happening to our country as a whole. That's not a cop out. That's not an excuse. If you read what is going on over there, you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I might touch up on this topic in another stream. Now, tonight's topic is society as a whole, our responsibilities, and our our government's responsibilities. But I'm asking Selfie Queen Cindy up here because minorities, and I know this is going to get back at me, but minorities go through the hardest times trying to get a place to rent from, buy from, whatnot. The topics that I'm talking about tonight, a I would like to get, and I hate to say this, I would like to get a minority's point of view about what I am talking about, which is why I want Cindy up here. So I'm gonna drop the link for you, Cindy. And you can come and join me. I just had to get the disclaimers out there. Just, But yeah, it's been a while since I used StreamYard. So if anything goes wrong, we will all blame Cindy. Okay. Remember, if anything goes wrong tonight, it is Cindy's fault, not mine. Hey, Fun Size. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Maria. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Mare. Hey, JJ. Hey, Lola. Sorry. Hey, Grace J. Okay, I had to go back. Okay, where'd Selfie Queen Cindy go to? Oh, she's back here. Hold on.
Hey, Grace
There
J.
she is.
Hey. Okay, where selfie tweets did you go to?
See, it's not my fault. This echo, your echo is your fault. It's your fault.
It is not my fault. It is your fault. Every time we do this, you have a problem. It is on your end, not mine.
I'm gonna drop down and come back on my phone. I'm gonna come back on my phone.
Oh my God! You know what? See that? See. Once again, this is the same problem we had before. This is the same problem. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Okay. Well, you know, this is the same problem we had before. Do I have an echo? Do y'all hear an echo coming from me? Once again, this is her, you know, this is her fault. I'll drop the link again for her so she can easily find it. I don't want to make it too tough on her. See? Yeah, I know, right? RT Nurse, I got StreamYard for nothing. Yeah, I got StreamYard for nothing. Oh, what? Oh, they found something. They got into something. Cindy, where's she? Where's Cindy at? Well, we're waiting on her. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a great day, great evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Okay, is she behind? No, she's not back there yet. We're still waiting. JJ, you might want to send a you might want to send a Calvary after Cindy. I think she got lost. Okay, there she is. Are we better now?
Yeah, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry.
What?
So what I had to do is I'm still on my computer, but I had to disconnect my monitor. That's all. I'm on my laptop, but I just had to disconnect my monitor. My fault. My fault. My fault. My fault.
See,
Sorry.
it wasn't me. It was
No,
not
it was
me.
it was definitely my dumbass. It was definitely me. Sorry about that.
And she was blaming me all the time for it,
I
like
was.
it was my fault.
I was like, damn you, Dom. It was all you. No, it was me. It was definitely me. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh my God. Okay, so you live in New York, and you live in one of the most expensive places on the planet.
Yes.
It is very hard for people to afford a place of living.
Yes.
Now, what the topic is tonight is about people looking for alternative ways of affording a home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be conventional or not conventional.
Right.
And over the past couple of weeks, I've noticed that a lot of people who have been targeted under new laws, whether it be state or federal laws, have been pretty much the minorities. Now, I know that you're probably going over there going, okay, we're going to have a race war here shortly. No,
No,
it's not going
no,
to
I get
be.
it. I
It's
get
not
what
going
you're
to be.
saying, though. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I know a lot of people have been looking at or watching or heard of the tiny house movements. I've noticed that, and I'm pretty
Yes.
sure people have noticed about, people living in RVs and whatnot.
Yep.
But I'm not going to talk about, the fancy smancy RVs, where the rich white people move into, wanting to
Yeah,
be on
those
the road all the
exorbitant
time.
tiny houses, those beautiful banging ones. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are yikes. Yeah.
We're going to talk more about the realistic side of being homeless. We
Yes.
are.
Yes.
Now, there's a topic going in Washington that people who are homeowners should open up their doors to the homeless on the streets.
Okay.
How do you feel about that in general?
Um, if I'm being 100% honest, that's that's not a good idea. I mean, in a perfect world, right? I've been homeless. I've also worked with homeless people, and I don't want to sound insensitive, but that is not a cure all for homelessness. Everybody who has a nice house, open up your house for the homeless. Are you insane? No. The so many people that are homeless have extenuating circumstances. They have mental illness, they have substance abuse problems, they have issues. The majority of homeless people have issues because their lives have become unmanageable. And that is how they have become homeless. You can't pay your bills, you've been evicted, and there's many reasons why people can't pay their bills. Again, mental illness, substance abuse problems, um, lack of resources, all these things. So just saying that people should, especially you have families, you open your home, you're endangering your family, you're endangering yourselves, from people to steal from you, from harm, physical harm, emotional harm, financial hardship. It's easier said than done. Why doesn't the government just open whole buildings and turn them into transitional housing? That would be better, where they have staff on hand to help these people with their issues. You don't tell residents to open up their homes to people like what? No. No. That's just my opinion. I'm not, you know what I mean? Just my opinion. I got to say that.
No,
And
no,
if
I actually do agree with you on this because, opening up your home, you're actually putting not only yourself at risk, you're putting your families at risk.
definitely. Hmm.
But at the same time, like you said, people have circumstances going into the background of why they are homeless. It's not
Yes.
just about not being able to afford it or whatnot. There's more than one end all be all cause. But
Yes.
Biden is floating around an idea that he wants to pass to make it where people will be forced to open up their homes. Now,
Mhm.
my thing is this: we spend we spend roughly about maybe 20% of our GDP, our 20% of our taxes every year on frivolous stuff that the government thinks we either need to have or they think they need to have.
Right. Right.
But I have to use New York, and I'm going to use New Orleans as well for
Right.
this argument. Okay. Why can't we take funds, for example, even at state level? Because I
Hmm.
know my state is looking for ways to decrease our homeless here. They want to actually build a tiny home village, but the taxpayers aren't footing the bill. They've already put it in the budget for next year.
Right.
But when you're dealing with New York City, why can't the state or our government go, okay, look at all the abandoned commercial complexes. Well, look at all the abandoned manufacturing plants that are there. I mean, let's face it, whenever you go into a certain part of New York, you look at land not being used. It's
Yeah.
just being wasted.
Yeah.
Now we know our government is good at passing eminent domain whenever they want to do something.
Right.
Why can't our government do that on pretty much every property that no business or company or corporation wants to deal with, and actually convert them into a safe environment, convert them into livable spaces?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is one of the things that I know about New York City. They want more green spaces, whether it be for growing gardens or more parks. But every time they want to do something, the city fights back with them.
Yes. Yes. I know for I can only speak for New York, but as I said, I worked in a homeless non-for-profit organization for 4 years, and sorry, excuse me, excuse me. The biggest problem I saw was our neighbors. It was sorry. We worked with the church, and even working with the church, you would have thought that people would have been okay with that. But there were so many petitions and so many meetings to get us out of their neighborhood because we were in Midtown. Midtown, for those that don't know, is like 42nd Street, Times Square, and Times Square is on the west side. And then we have the 42nd Street Grand Central Station on the east side. And we were located on the east side, and everyone around us, the businesses, the residents, didn't want the population of homeless in their immediate area. And I think that that's the biggest problem. Even if you take a building that's abandoned, people, the community does not want the population of homeless people in their surrounding areas. So we find the problem with that. Like, what are we supposed to do with the homeless? Make a whole community outside of the city, or take them to Ward's Island, how they used to do before. There are some islands here in New York where they had Typhoid Mary, where they just isolate them on an island when tuberculosis was huge in New York. They just isolated them. They quarantined them all to an island. And I think that that's what people want to be done to the homeless. Just throw them on an island, all the homeless people over there, keep them away from our neighborhoods, keep them away from us. And in my personal opinion, I think that that's the biggest problem that we found, that people don't want homeless people in their communities. And so where do we go? Where do even organizations like mine that were doing amazing things? We had housing initiatives where we would help people get transitional housing, permanent housing, help them with work. And we paid 70% of their rent. They were only responsible for 30% of their rent. But even in trying to do that, we were always fighting the community. They wanted us out of their community. And we had to relocate to another area because it had become so bad. And I think that that's a big problem. Nobody wants homeless people settled in their community. So where do you go?
I think in that retrospect, I think the media needs to be held accountable for that, because it's the media that put a stigma on homelessness.
I agree.
Like, if they're homeless, there's something wrong with them. And it's the same thing. And I hate to say this, but it's comparable to what is going on at the Mexican border. It's the same thing happening with immigrants. Oh, you don't
Right.
know where they came from. Oh, they
Yep.
could be ours.
Yep.
They could be deviants. They could be SA offenders.
Yes.
They could be anything.
Yes.
And I think our media needs to be accountable and get rid of that stigma. Just because you come from a different background or you come from a different part of society doesn't automatically put you in a category. And that's what our media does. It puts you
Yes.
in a category.
Yes. Yes.
And people wonder why there is discontent, whether it's with, politics, race, drugs, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the media behind the disconnect because they're fueling the fire. They're feeding the fear of the people, and that's not what should happen.
And that's exactly what happens. You're right, Dom, that they make this media frenzy where, and I get it, but if homeless people were attended to, right? If there were facilities equipped to deal with homelessness where their medication was monitored, there would be less homeless people that would be a danger to themselves and others, because if they are adhering to their medication and their medication is monitored, they are lucid. They are then able to be productive. They are then able to hold down jobs. They are then able to work on transitional housing. But if we don't work on getting them stabilized where they have at least a cot to sleep on, at least somebody who's administering their medication every day, like, hey, here's your medication, take it. And that's what needs to happen. In our facility, we did make sure everybody got their medication every day. Everybody took their medication. They had access to clean clothing. They had a bed to sleep in. You don't understand, being homeless, there's no way you can be productive. If you don't know where you're resting your head, how do people expect them to be in the right frame of mind to go look for work, to hold down a job? Like, it makes no sense. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Now, JJ, you made a point about, medication and facilities. And this is how messed up our society is. And there's actually a documentary. There's actually quite a few of them. I can't remember them, but there are people in America that will actually go back to prison willingly
Yes.
because they can't get their medication no
Yep.
other way
Yep.
than being behind bars.
Yep. Yep.
We are supposed to be a first world country, yet we have third world problems.
We do.
And
Right.
this is not how it's supposed to be. I mean, you can take, you can look at, other countries. Let's take Europe, for example. They have a homeless problem, but at the same time, they don't throw it on the people. They try to find solutions for everything.
Right. That's right.
You know,
Long-term solutions. Right.
we're not looking for an end all be all to the homeless problem, but there's got to be a lot of guidance on how we can get people from point A to point B.
Yes.
There's got to be a guidance. And if the government isn't going to take that initiative, then we as people need to go to our state legislatures and go,
Yep.
look, the government abandoned us. So, you know what? What can you do to help for what we need now? And
Right.
you got to understand that our federal government was not built to handle all the problems going on in our country as it is right now.
Mhm.
They were designed just to deal with the foreign nations, not what happens at, the state level or the ground level.
Right.
Now, I do agree with a lot of people in here. There needs to be mental facilities accessible to people. There needs to be easier access
Yes.
to medications for people that have issues.
Mhm.
But there's a whole big pie of a circle of everything going on. I mean, we're almost spending 40% right now from our paychecks just paying rent.
Yep.
At what point?
Yep.
At what point is it going to be where, nobody's literally going to be able to afford anything? At what point is the government or state governments going to step in and go, enough is enough? For a perfect example of this, I read it in an article yesterday, and it was on Google. There was a landlord in Nevada who was charging $1,300 a month for rent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the new payment came up, that payment that they go up every year, he went from $1,300 on this family to $6,500 a month.
That his rent increased that much?
Yeah, he increased the
Whoa.
rent that much.
Oh no.
They had no warning, no nothing. He just increased it.
He doubled the rent. Right? But essentially.
Yeah, he did.
No way. No.
You can't do that.
No.
People, what kind of normal everyday person? Like, I know I don't make that kind of money in a month.
I don't either. I don't either. Nope, there's no way I can afford that. And the thing is that people are struggling now as it is. Like, I pay a lot. I have a 2-bedroom apartment and my rent is ridiculous. My rent is ridiculous here in New York. And the cost of living is so high. So it's not just the rent that's high. The groceries are high. Everything is so ridiculous. Take like a place like Florida, right? The minimum wage is less, but the cost of living is also less. So you do much better living out there. And they've also been tackling their homeless problem. And during COVID, their numbers have decreased so much because their state and their governor is actually putting into place plans that are working for them. They have a different climate there. Here in New York, we have seasons that change, even though they have seasons that change, but not as drastic as New York. Like they have their rainy season, their dry season, their seasons that are super humid. Here we have freezing cold. You know what I mean? Like it's our seasons change. So we can't do that tent thing year round because people will literally freeze to death here in New York.
Yeah,
And
they
being
will.
homeless here in New York is basically life or death for some. That, if you're kicked out of the subway station and you're literally sleeping on the street, people have frozen to death. It's sad, and it's just like people don't care. If you're not middle class, upper middle class, you're the forgotten people. There's such a big gap between the impoverished and the people that are wealthy. And in between is very, very thin. And it's like the system is built to keep the people that are poor down. And I'm not over here saying that people got to take care of people. People are like, oh, well, work hard. I do work hard. And it's almost nearly
Everybody
impossible
is
to pay my bills.
the thing of it is that figure of speech is no longer useful now, because there are people literally working 3-4 jobs just to barely get by, and even that's not enough.
No,
it's not enough anymore.
It's not enough. And so many people are homeless in New York. And we always had a homeless problem, but it is so bad now. It's so bad. I literally see people everywhere sleeping on the concrete, like just like that, spread out on the concrete. And it's really bad. And now they're doing these things where they're going into subways and throwing people out because it's become dangerous. There's more crimes on the subway because there's a lot more homeless people that have mental illness. It's like this revolving door of insanity. You know what I mean? Like, we have more homeless people, we have more crime, so let's throw them into the street, out of the subways. It doesn't solve our crime problem. It doesn't solve our homeless problem. It just keeps passing the buck. It's like you keep sweeping it. I'm going to sweep this garbage. I'm not calling homeless people garbage. It's an analogy. I'm going to sweep this off of my sidewalk. I'm going to sweep it to the next corner, and it'll be their problem. And that's what it keeps happening to seems to keep happening with homeless. I'm going to sweep the problem. As long as it's not in my backyard, I don't really care. Let the next person worry about it. I'll get them out of the subways because the MTA and the transit are upset. Let's get them out of the subways. We'll throw them back into the street. And then it becomes a problem on the street where they're arresting you. So people are running back to the subway. It's an ever revolving door. That's not a solution. That's not a solution.
No, it's not a solution. But I have been keeping up with. Okay, let me say this first and foremost. Okay, I don't like California. Okay, I think those people are on a whole different plane of reality and existence, and I think
Right.
most of them are a little bit cuckoo. If you're in California and I offended you, whatever. But I think most of you are cuckoo birds. Okay, I do. I think most of you are cuckoo birds.
Right.
But there is a point that has been pushing in California. This is not an end all to the situation,
Right.
but it does lead to questions about property if you are a homeowner. One question that is brought up is, when does it become acceptable to allow a neighbor to dictate what you can and can't do to your yard? And I'm going to put this into context because it's not a situation for everybody. Okay.
Right.
It's not a situation. It's not an end all be all. It's not, it's not like, well, if you do this, everybody that you're going to do it to is going to be bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
But a lot of people in California own their homes, and
Right.
what they wanted to do, and I do know some of them have done it against the wishes of their neighbors and the city, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
When people are told no, they figure out loopholes.
Yeah, of course we will. Yep.
But what people have been doing or trying to do in California is, if they have a garage that that they're not using, they have converted them to and rent them out for about $300 to $400 a month.
Right.
Now that's not enough to usually cover a mortgage. But like I said, most people own their homes outright. So it's not going to the mortgage. It's just going to whatever little bills they have.
Yes.
But $400 to get a family off the street back on their feet is better than throwing them into a shelter and wondering if their neighbor is going to do something to them.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that everybody should do it, because these people knew the family that they opened their home to. Okay. So I'm going to say that they knew the family personally. But other people, want to open up their backyard or their driveways to, the tiny house on wheels, or
Yes.
RVs, or people who have nowhere else to go to. Once again, you have to be picky, but then again, it's a start at, then having a safe place to park without worrying if the city is going to tow the only home they have.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
There are a lot of things that need to be done, but we as everyday citizens, if we have the means to help out a little bit, at least it's a start. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When the pandemic hit, everybody, were full-time RVers. They were living, wherever they could. But the problem now is that there are more RVs on the road than there are actually parks.
Right.
One of the problems that is going on in Seattle and in California is, yeah, they did legalize it that you could live in your vehicle, but the problem is they still don't have a safe space to park at night.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, these people don't even have access to running water,
Right. That's right. You're right. You're right.
or
Yeah.
or even or oh, I wonder what that was.
What?
Oh, my cats are upstairs causing chaos. They knocked something over.
Uh-oh.
I
Dun, dun,
heard something
dun.
break. I'm not going up there. I don't know what they. I don't want to know what they broke.
They're like kids, I'm telling you. Pets
I
are like
don't.
kids.
I don't want to know what they broke. But the thing of it is that I believe that every human has basic rights. They have the basic right to feel secure.
Right.
Whether it is in
Right.
a makeshift shed in somebody's backyard,
Right.
or living in a camper or whatever. People have the right to have access to water. They have the right to have access to trash receptacles to throw away what they need to throw
Right.
away.
Yes.
Rather than, you know, and the problem is I hear everybody arguing, well, it's not my problem, why should I care?
Right.
And the point of it is it is your problem. These are people just like you.
Right.
And when you use the mentality of, well, why should I do this? It'll never happen to me. That's when problems arise, because homelessness can happen to anybody at any given time. It doesn't matter if you own
Yep.
your
You're
home
right.
or not.
Mhm.
Here's something about owning your home that a lot of people don't understand. If you miss your tax payment one time,
Mhm.
the city by law can take your home away from you.
Wow.
They can do that. If
That's
you
sad.
don't,
That's sad. That's crazy.
yeah, if you don't pay your home taxes on time, they have full right to take it. They have full right to take your property away from you and put it back on the market. Here's something else. If you live in a homeowners association and you miss a payment on your HOA, the HOA can take your home from you in that instance.
Really?
For missed payments, they can legally take it away from you and
That's
put it on the
insane.
market.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, hell no.
And when people talk about, well, it will never happen to me, you know, a lot of these people have said the same thing that, you know, they've said before. Oh, it'll never happen to me, and now they're homeless.
Of course. Yeah. I said I thought that. I won't say that now. Because I learned my lesson, but yeah, you're right.
In my city, okay, so Teresa, yeah, it is. It's a thing. I even asked my city because, you know, I'm buying my own home, okay? And they told me that if I miss the payment by the due date, by law, they are allowed to take control of my house at the closing business day and put the house on the market the next day. It's not something that happens very often, but it does happen. Especially if
Terrible.
somebody especially if somebody is in that office that doesn't like you. But legally, they can take your home away from you.
That's crazy. Wow. That's insane. I'm sorry. Listen. Oh no. How the hell? I thought homeowners association was just to help with like property issues with the community issues. I didn't know they had like that kind of authority to like take your house. Like, hell no. What the hell?
No,
No.
if you miss your payment, even if you miss one payment in an HOA, they have full legality to take your home away from you and put it
Mm.
on the market to sell. It's
Oh no.
actually in a lot of contracts. If you read the homeowners association contract, which you have to sign, a lot of them actually put it in there.
Wow. Is it a clause or is it a normal part of the contract?
It's a normal part of the contract.
Oh no. Mm-mm. No thank you. No thank you. No.
It's
That's
a normal
insane.
part. So,
No, it's not.
like I asked earlier, at what point do we have to get to be at before the government steps in and says enough is enough?
I think they won't step in until it starts affecting their bottom dollar. The government is all about money. It's all about money. This has been happening since the beginning of time with the United States, since the United States was formed. It's always been about
Yeah,
money.
exactly, Teresa. Exactly. Everybody needs to pay their taxes, but if
Yeah,
you miss the deadline, and you know, it does happen. Okay, it does happen, and it's a legality.
right.
Let's say your taxes are due on the 1st, but you don't get paid on the 2nd. If you don't pay them on the 1st, the next day the city can take your home away from you and put it on the market.
Wait, so repeat that. Repeat that.
Okay, so if your taxes are due on the 1st, but you don't get paid on the 2nd, the city has legal right to take your home away from you and put it on the market for sale.
So if you miss one payment, or would you have to be delinquent
You can,
multiple
according to
payments?
my city, if they feel like it, they can take your home away from you after one payment.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I didn't know
I
that.
even
Pretty
called a
good.
different city that's in my state, and they said that they can do the same. They said that there are no pre-clauses or pre-existing legal documents to tell them when they can or cannot take your home. It's up to the city to decide.
Okay. Yeah, that I don't know. Sadly I live in an apartment building, so I'm free of all of that. My parents are homeowners and own an apartment, but
Yeah, but the whole point is it's really
crazy.
scary that even when you spend all this money to buy your home, you still don't own your home. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
really scary.
that is scary. That is scary. That
So,
is
like I
terrifying.
said, at what point does it become enough before some type of government entity steps in and says enough is enough? How many people are going to have to lose everything before something changes?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. It
We
always
all know
seems like
we all don't have the answer. It was
right,
rhetorical.
right.
I didn't. I'm like,
No, no, I
yeah,
know, I know, I know, I know, I know you're not asking me specifically, like the fuck. I would be paid if I knew that. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem like the government ever really cares unless it affects them personally. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's wrong. I mean, we've got people that need help. We've got people that need to be helped now.
Yep,
And ignoring the problem is not going to go away.
I agree.
Reducing the options of people getting affordable housing is not going to make the problem, it's not going to help the problem. It's going to exacerbate the problem.
Yep, you're
People
right.
need to have a way to, I'm not saying, a high rise in, New York needs to open up their doors to every, person on the street. Okay. I'm
Right.
not saying the Ritz needs to open up all their doors and let the homeless come in. What I am saying is that cities, states, and the federal government need to come together and work on a plan and designate areas for affordable housing. There
Mhm.
is a difference between Section 8 housing and affordable housing.
Right.
I'm not saying
You mean between
everybody needs to,
low income housing?
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
You don't need, there is not a lot of people that can afford $800 a month anymore. There's not.
No, you're right. You're right. And that
People
seems
can people
in New
can
York,
barely
that's like
afford.
a blessing. $800 is like that's it, but that's still a lot of money. You know what I
It
mean?
is. It is a lot of money. And I'm not saying that we as taxpayers should go, well, this is how it needs to be. But as a taxpayer, I would rather have my money go to a worthy cause rather than some stupid, messed up plan that ain't going to materialize in about 50 or 60 years. You know what I mean?
Right. You're right.
We waste so much money on stupid projects
Yes.
that end up being broken in a couple of years. I'd rather have people be a productive part of society
Yes.
rather than watching, the next federal building just collect dirt and dust. You know what I mean?
Of course. I agree. I agree. Definitely. Definitely. I agree. We need to work on things to make our society better as a whole instead of just seeing homeless people or addicts or mentally people with mental illness as something to us people to ostracize. They are a part of our society, and I think that if we worried about them more and put more resources to rehabilitating people, to making sure people were medicated, people were cared for, this whole society would just be a better place. You know what I mean?
It,
Instead
it
of
would.
trying to
It would. And Mary, you have a point there. In California, there is a city that made it illegal to feed the homeless. If
what?
you give a homeless person a sandwich, you spend the night in jail.
No, that can't. That's no.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I can't. What?
Yep. If you give a homeless person a sandwich, you can get thrown in jail.
Oh hell no! They done fell and bumped their heads. No way. No way. Mm-mm.
And like I said, when you have stupid people in power passing laws like this, they're adding to the problem. They're literally starving people.
That's that makes me so sad. That makes what? If you feed somebody, you're going to jail for the night. Like, huh? You know how
Yeah,
many people?
and Mayor said that if you give anything to a homeless person, you risk a $500 fine.
Oh, so what do? So what? Okay, what do they think? How is that supposed to deter people from panhandling? All that's going to happen is that people are going to start committing crimes. So instead of me panhandling and trying to, oh my God, I can't. I'm going to go and rob somebody instead of trying to, get kindness from strangers, right? I'm going to go and I'm going to rob somebody by force because I'm desperate. Like, I don't see how they think that this is the solution. Don't feed them. Don't help them with the quarter. They're on their own. What do they think is the next step for these people that are already in the most desperate situations anybody could be in life? Then they wonder when these people commit crimes, and then what? Oh, I see. Let's put them in jail. I listen. That is upsetting. That's upsetting. That's makes no sense to me.
It doesn't.
Hmm. That shit just pissed me off. I'm sorry. That's insane. I mean, mm-mm. I'm going to put you in jail for helping them, and then I'll wait for them to commit a crime now, and then I'll just put them in jail too, because that's what that's what our government does anyway, is instead of trying to rehabilitate or help people, we're going to incarcerate. We're going to incarcerate. That's what we're going to do. Because we'll have them work in jail and, get paid 50 cents an hour, a quarter an hour. I can't. That shit upsets me.
Okay, since a lot of people aren't going to believe me, I'm going to actually do this, okay? And since then, this law has not changed, so please note that. So, in certain cities in California, feeding the homeless is against the law. El Cajun is one of the cities that makes it illegal to feed the homeless. Their reasoning is to reduce the spread of hepatitis A.
What?
Yeah, that was their reasoning. They passed an ordinance to make it illegal to feed the homeless to reduce the hepatitis A outbreak.
Okay, but hepatitis A, isn't hepatitis A transmitted through fecal matter, right? So like, poor food handling, like in restaurants and stuff like that. So our way to control hepatitis A is for us not to feed the homeless, instead of trying to regulate inspections of restaurants and food handlers, better training of employees that work around food, better usage of gloves, better practices of every time you use the bathroom. That is where the risk for hepatitis A comes in, not from not feeding, giving somebody a sandwich from your home. It's about hygiene, and it's about
exactly, and the site points that out. It comes from unsanitary conditions.
Yes, fecal matter, and that's where food coming into contact with fecal matter. Like, so I don't understand their logic between feeding a homeless person. How is that? That doesn't make any sense. That rationale is bullshit. Sorry. Excuse my language. That's
you can curse on my. Lady, I have said worse on my channel. Have you not watched me?
I know, but I want to respect your panel, and that's crazy, Dom. Like, that doesn't make any. That's an excuse, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there are several cities in California. That was one of them. But it said that there are other municipalities and cities that make it a crime to feed the homeless. And that is freaking pathetic.
So it's okay if I buy, right? Let's say I go to a restaurant and I buy something to eat and I get hepatitis A from it. But if I buy it and I give it to the homeless, the risk increases. No, it's the same risk. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It's ludicrous. It makes no sense, and that angers me, because that's the same kind of logic that people use when they say, when you work in a harm reduction place, that we are encouraging sexual activity, we're encouraging drug use. No, what we are doing is teaching people safe practices, use protection, using clean needles, how to clean their needles, how to keep the area clean to lessen the risks of transmitting hepatitis C, HIV. That's the same kind of warped thinking that goes along with that. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's stupid, plain stupid.
That's horrible, Mayor. Let me see if I can do this the proper way. Like I said,
what? They poured bleach all over the. No. Oh no. See, y'all gonna get me mad. I'm gonna go get a damn sign and start protesting up here in my city. Don't make me get crazy. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we don't need Cindy crazy. We don't.
I'm already halfway there. Please.
But you know, the point, the reason for this is Cindy is correct. This is a conversation we need to have. There is never going to be one answer to solve the problem.
Right.
But we as a nation of humanity, and I'm not saying a nation of our country. I'm saying as a nation part of humanity, we as humans, we need to actually go against the tyranny that is happening in the world today. People have basic rights, and one of the basic rights is this: whether you're homeless or not, whether you are high on society scale or on the lowest part, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your religious beliefs,
your sexual orientation, right?
Regardless of it all, these people are still human, and they have that human right to be treated as a human, not as anything less than human.
I agree. There that's the thing, Dom. You're so right. When you treat people as subpar humans, they behave as such. You know what I mean? Give them some dignity. That's what helps people. Help build their confidence back up. Help make these programs where they can get clean clothing, access to showers, all of that's what drop-in centers are for.
You know, even if the government came in and said, look, we'll pay for we'll pay for their medication, but y'all have to do everything else. That's still a good start, because at least people would be getting the medication they needed.
I agree.
And that would be the first step.
Yes. That would be a great first step, because if you are in a better place, if you're lucid, if you're taking your medication as prescribed, you can think clearly, more clearly. You know what I mean? You can work on your next step, but they need a solid foundation.
Come here, Tony. Come here. Come here, Tony. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Okay, I gotta show. Okay, you're gonna smile for the camera. You're gonna smile for the camera. Let me. Oh shoot! I don't know if it'll work. Oh, I have to hold on here. What? Okay, hold on here. Hold on. Come here. We're gonna load it up. Well, while we're loading this up, let's just. Oh, well, you know what? You're just a fucking piece of shit today. That's what you are.
Hey, you have your snap camera on, Dom. That's cool. I have one of those too.
Yeah, I have to change it over though.
I know, me too. It keeps crashing. It sucks.
Okay, there we go.
Can't see, Dom, because you have the comment in the way. Oh,
sorry. Let me remove that.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Aww. So cute.
Yeah, he's mad at me.
Why? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do, Dom? What the hell you did?
He was trying to.
Temperamental doesn't even want to look at you. What did you do?
He's like, I'm not happy with you.
I see that. Oh my goodness.
Here. You want that? Okay, there you go.
So cute.
Bye.
He's like, I am mad at you. I ain't messing with you right now.
No, I gave him I gave him a pizza.
Oh,
I bribed him.
Pizza.
I bribed him.
You bribed him.
I bribed him.
I want some damn pizza. I'm hungry. Talking about food. Stop talking about food. We were talking about food in my life, and I got hungry.
Yeah, he's happy now. I gave him pizza.
Good.
You're not getting no more.
He came back already that fast? He ate it?
Yeah. He's like, okay, I want more now. But you know, even if the government, you know, at least it would be a start. If the
Yes,
government
I
said they
agree.
would pay for, you know, the therapy or
Yes,
you know, medication and said,
yes,
look, we're doing this, y'all gotta do everything else, that would be okay.
yes.
But then the government would have to step in and say, you know, what people do. If they want to feed the homeless, you can't fine them. You can't throw them in jail. You
Yeah,
can't do
no,
that
no, that doesn't make
because
sense.
it's always the person's choice.
Yes, I agree. I agree. It's definitely is the person's choice, and that is kind of dictatorship kind of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's tyranny.
yes, it is. It is exactly. It's tyrannical. It's like we're gonna tell you. It's a slippery slope once we start doing that, and it's a scary place to think about it getting worse from there. We're fining you. We're putting you in jail. We're throwing bleach on food in churches. What? What? No. No. So we can't even, not even did they just say, okay, you can't serve this food. They're making it so that no one can enjoy that food and eat that food.
Exactly.
That's
And
a
that
sin.
and
Nah,
we
you're right.
already have a food problem in the world.
Right. Exactly.
You can't
Exactly.
do stupid crap like that.
Right. You're right. No, you can't. You can't do stuff like that.
Okay,
It's not okay.
let me explain something to you, okay? Let me explain something to you, all right? You are a 70-pound dog, okay? You are a 70-pound dog, okay? You are not a puppy. You are not a Shih Tzu. You are not a Chihuahua,
You're not a
okay?
Maltese for real. They hear you, big dog.
Now, let me explain this to you, okay? You are like a miniature pony, all right? A miniature horse. If you get up on my table, you are going to break my table, okay? Now, you know that would be a no-no. You do not want my table to go smashing down on the ground,
No
right?
way.
Right? Okay. Now you do not jump on things. You can sit there, you can look at things, but don't jump on them. Don't yawn in my face. Okay? No, no, no. You are not going to sit there and act like you're not hearing me. I know you can hear me. Don't
Oh
give
my
me that
God.
look of discontent either, okay?
She
And
knows.
no,
She
get
knows
away
already.
from the treat box. Oh my
Well, you can't
god.
even say that word around my dog. Oh my God, you can't even say the T word around my dog. She will have a heart attack. Like, where they at? Where they at?
Yeah, this is the treat thief, okay? This is the dog that knows how to open up the box.
Wow, really? Oh no. Mayor, give him a turkey baster. Where is
I'm like,
turkey? Where is Dom's turkey baster right now? Where's your turkey baster, Dom?
Mare took it. I guess she's trying to have immaculate conception or something.
Sassy said no. Oh my
Okay,
God.
since you saw that one, hopefully she'll be here to. Okay, this is the other one.
Oh my goodness. So beautiful. Look like a wolf. Hello. Aww.
Oh, yeah, and then you just butt your head in the fucking way.
Oh my goodness. Now you have two doggies. Damn, those are big dogs too, Dom.
No shit.
Holy crudmeister. I don't know if I could do two big dogs. I have a small little dog. My dog's a Morkie. She's a mix of a Yorkie and a Maltese, and she's more than I can handle. That's a beautiful dog. Those are beautiful dogs, though. Bro, I'm live.
Yeah, your mom's live. I made her go live, you know? Yeah, you know? But yeah, you know, as society, we should be able to help the people in need.
Yeah, you're right.
And you know, and I hate to say this, but even good causes are even trying to you know, milk as much out of it. Like, for example, we have a Goodwill here. Our
Right.
Goodwill doesn't even donate to local charities anymore or even
No,
local food banks.
there's not really any over here anymore, Dom. Not open. The churches, the food banks, like it's people, it's It's still not a good thing for people. Uh, People are not allowed to donate their clothing anymore, donate food. So there's just like they'll leave them in the lobby, they'll leave cans and stuff in the lobby. You still can't donate because people, the fear of COVID is still so prevalent. You can't even, there's nothing open. They've made kiosks here everywhere in the city where they've built them and people just throw whatever donations they have there. Appliances, clothing, baby toys, baby clothes, so much stuff. And they have people that just volunteer freely to come and organize it every so often. And how about the people that are hungry? How
I
about the
know.
people that are hungry? It's like, no, there's nothing for you.
And they're talking about making it even harder for people to get food. Like it already is, like it wasn't tough before COVID.
Yeah, it was, but it's so hard here in New York. There's so many hungry people. And I think about the kids. You know, I was a kid that was hungry. My mom was an addict and I was hungry, and I can't think about kids being hungry. That just breaks my heart, you know? And a
Yeah,
lot of
it
those
does.
places, there was places, Dom, here in New York where they would make snack bags, and you would get one snack bag for every child you had. They didn't care. And now those places are closed. So kids are missing out on the snacks, they're missing out on the lunches. There were churches that provided 3 meals a day, and so many families would go in there and have meals. And now the summer's coming. You know what I mean? I'm praying that these schools will have the free lunch. They have to for these kids, because you don't know how much that saved kids. Going to have free breakfast and free lunch. But there's so many kids. The A few months ago there was a van that came through the projects here, because a few blocks away there's some projects, and it drove right into the projects and was giving away bags of groceries, whole chickens and vegetables and pineapples, and was just giving it out to everybody, feeding people these huge bags they were giving out to people. And it's people doing it with their own money, you know, like, and that was amazing to see, especially going into the projects where so many kids are hungry. Just makes me sad. I'm not homeless, and I'm thankful for that, but there's so many people that are homeless and hungry and have nothing, you know, no place to rest their head, like the basics that you would have as a human being, a place to rest your head, being able to lock your door and feeling safe. They don't have that. They have no security, no safety, nothing. It just makes me sad, you know?
You know, and that's the one thing that that I have to you know, I don't know how to word this properly. I guess disagree with or agree with. I don't know. Well,
Hmm.
I'll figure out. Y'all figure out the term in just a minute. But as if your kids are enrolled in if they're enrolled, let me correct myself, if they're enrolled in public school, the
Hmm.
lunches should be free,
Yeah,
because for a lot of children that's the only meal
they
they
get.
get.
Yep, you're right.
And,
You're
and
right.
schools are still charging parents to
Yes,
feed
you
them.
have to fill out those lunch forms. Yeah, you still have to fill out those lunch forms. Yep, you're right.
And it's like, what? No, that's not how it should be, because
No,
you don't know what they're going through at home.
exactly, exactly. It's so true. It's
You,
so
you
true.
know, a lot of families can't afford to pay 5 or even $8 for a lunch. A lot
Yep,
of families can't even afford to pay 35 cents for a little carton of milk.
you're right. You're
If
right.
kids are going to a public school, then it should be the public that should support them.
Dom, I went to Catholic high school. And even going to Catholic high school, I went to an amazing school. My school didn't have like 8 periods. My school didn't have like, the schedule wasn't for 5 days. We had a 6 day schedule. So every week it rotated. You never had like every Monday the same classes. I loved it. And we didn't get just one lunch break. We had multiple breaks during the day. Like different days, I'd have a 40-minute break here, two classes, a 80-minute break. My school was amazing, but my parents made me bagged lunches almost every day, and I hated it. I wanted to buy lunch, like especially on my favorite days where they had like baked ziti and it was cheese. My school made the best lunch. And but now I appreciated that even my parents made sure I had bagged lunches, because my parents were paying for Catholic school for me and all my brothers. We all went to Catholic school. And there was 5 of us, me and 4 brothers, and my parents, we all went to Catholic school. 3 of us in Catholic high school, and my 2 little brothers in Catholic public school and then middle school. So back then I didn't appreciate it. I was like, oh my God, I want to eat, I want to buy lunch like everybody else. But damn, they made sure that I had lunch every day. I went from living with my mom to not having anything, being homeless, going from shelter to shelter, being hungry, to moving in with my dad and having the best, going to the best schools, having my own room, the best clothing. And so, you learn to appreciate it. And I wasn't hungry. It's crazy. I went from being starving, literally, I don't know how we didn't die, to moving in with my dad and having everything, never wanting for anything. So I've had the best of both. And I think that that's what's made me really humble, that I'm grateful that I have a place to live, and that I could be worse. It could be worse. You know what I mean? But when I
Yep.
come to think about kids, I can't, it breaks my heart for kids, because they're not making the choice. The choice is made for them.
Yep. Oh, no, 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 no. Here's the thing of that, Jen. Here's the thing. Okay. And I looked it up. Okay. We spend more, believe it or not, we spend more on stupid crap for our politicians than we do on the school lunch programs. Every year, the cost for the national school lunch program in the US has been going down. Last year, we had 30 billion going into the national school lunch program. It went from 30 billion last year down to 20 billion this year. And it's expected to go down another 10 billion next year. There is money to pay for the program. The problem is that our government doesn't want to put the money there.
Yep. They have the money. They just don't want to use it for that. You're right. You're right.
And that's the sad part. Think of all the money that goes into our government. We have enough money paid in taxes to literally, and I hate to say this, but the money is there. We have enough money to cover the national health care scheme. We have enough money literally to cover the school food program. But the money isn't attributed to that. It's attributed to a lot of other stuff that a lot of Americans don't even care about.
Mm-hmm.
It's estimated that our government wastes between $5 to $10 trillion annually on failed governmental ideas. That's a lot of money.
That is.
10 trillion a year.
That is crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm starving. I'm eating Mike and Ike's. I'm so hungry.
It's okay. I'm used to Nikki eating on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all it's a lot of the money that we send overseas as well could be used partially to fund the stuff that we need.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're right. You're right. And you're right, better with the Irish. Yep. Let's not forget the money they put in bills, etc., to launder money. Damn Skippy. Damn Skippy.
It's true. It's true. Our government knows how to waste money.
Yep. And then, don't get me started on
look
teachers
at the way they treat our vets. That's a perfect example. Look at
and
our
how they
military
treat our
vets.
teachers. Our teachers get paid nothing, and they're, you know, they have the job of helping build our future, and teachers are treated like they get no money, nothing. It's horrendous.
You know, it's even expected that our teachers now pay for school supplies out of their
Yep.
own pockets.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Teachers can't afford to do that.
No. Mm-mm.
They can't afford to do that. They're dipping in their own pockets to help pay to educate our children.
You're right.
And it's wrong. Like I said, I'm not up here to create a end all be all. I'm not saying that one solution is going to be a solution.
Right. It's not a one size fits all problem.
But there's got to be a discussion about it to see how we can reduce the problem.
Yes.
We're not talking about ending the problem, just reducing it.
Yes. Or even seeing what difference each one of us can make in reducing waste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All kinds of things that we can do to try to help in our little ways, because it all makes a big difference. One person can make a big difference. And I know sometimes it's like, what can one person do? But one person can start a whole revolution, you know?
And Sassy, I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger too, until I was told I had to work with the kids, and then I was like, no.
What the hell? How did you think you could be a teacher without working with kids?
Oh, well, I wanted to be a substitute teacher. You know, one of those teachers that are paid but never on call. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those.
Irish, that's what Don was talking about, that the tiny houses. But the problem is them being able to park there.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Better is that if people own their own homes, they should be able to convert a garage, or even let people stay in their driveway if it's unused.
Yes.
Or
if it's
even
not blocking
open up
traffic,
their back,
right.
or even open up their backyard to a tiny house or two.
Yes.
You're not, you know, you're not really trying to solve the problem, but you're trying to help reduce the problem.
I agree. I agree.
Everybody should be able to do their part.
Yep.
You know, if the government doesn't want to do anything, then the people should be able to step in and pick up the slack.
That's right.
You know,
right.
one person, let's take it for example, okay? In my backyard, I can literally fit two tiny homes comfortably, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to do that without my neighbors making excuses about why I shouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
Like, if they're not causing trouble, if it doesn't directly involve them, then they should not have a say in it either.
Right.
And let's face it, we're not talking about, you know, a rundown piece of crap sitting in the backyard, because contrary to what the media wants people to believe, a lot of homeless people do take care of whatever they're living in.
Yes.
They take care of them. It's the cities and the what's that M word? Municipalities. I think that's the word. They make it harder for them to have access to sanitation.
Yes.
It's not the homeless that's the problem. It's everybody else making it harder for them to live their day-to-day life.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I understand that there are a lot of rigs out there that are falling apart, that can barely move and whatnot. That's true. But here's the thing. If you didn't keep towing their vehicles, they wouldn't have to pay the money to keep taking them out of impound, and they could use that money to fix up their rigs, to make it runnable again, to make it nicer looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that, all homeless people, are like that, but the majority of people who live in their vehicles really do take care of them or try to take care of them.
There was I saw a whole community of people that were in recovery that were now placed in this tiny home community, and they took so much pride in those tiny homes because they were homeless. These people were moved from, the streets into this tiny house community, and they took so much pride into these little tiny homes, which is a space maybe the size of a bedroom, right? But people like me, I've been homeless, right? And I've also been to prison. So I know what it's like to be on the street. People would ask me, "Where are you sleeping?" E's house. E was the E train. I used to sleep on the E train. And when I was in prison, I had a cell that was like tiny. You know what I mean? So being in a space like that, and when I went to a homeless shelter, I was in a room. It was the most luxurious thing I ever had. It was a nice, comfortable bed. I wasn't in prison where I was locked in. I could come and go as I pleased. I was safe. I had a door where I could lock myself, away from the world. I kept it so clean. I took pride in it because I knew what it was not to have. And there are many people now, if you're somebody who's still in active addiction, then maybe that's not your priority. But somebody who is getting the resources they need, a rehabilitation, help to other resources, therapy, their medication, they will take pride in this space because it is theirs. So I've seen that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But like I said earlier, the media needs to stop demonizing everybody.
Yes,
They need to stop
I agree.
demonizing it. I agree with Teresa's point of view too, that we don't know where everybody comes from.
Very
But the
true.
problem
Very true.
is that if you pass judgment before you even know them, that's a problem. That is a major issue. You
Yeah.
can't lump everybody into one statistic.
No, you can't.
The
You really
perfect
can't.
example of what I mean by this is, I think even Selfie Queen Cindy would remember this, but remember back in the day when gay people were stigmatized as predators and
Of course.
child M's?
Of
Remember that?
course. Of course.
Remember all those commercials back in the day that stigmatized that if your kid gets into a car with a gay person, they're going to be M or R'd?
Yeah,
Remember
that was
those
crazy.
commercials? I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember them. Or let's talk about another commercial that I came across, which was very, very, very horrific. But it was an old commercial back in the day, and it wasn't like a TV commercial. It was actually a commercial in the ad, or they actually portrayed people of color to that of apes that belonged on drugs in order to
What?
keep them calm. Yeah,
Oh, hell no.
yeah,
Oh, hell no.
yeah. That was way back in the day. That's horrific.
That's beyond horrific. That's
And I
who.
found that I found that on YouTube. It was a history of racist ads.
Oh
And
no. Oh,
I'm
there's
like,
a lot.
oh my
There's a lot,
God,
even in
no.
cartoons, Dom. Even in cartoons, there's a lot of hidden racism. And anyway, that's a whole other topic of discussion. Let me not, because I'll lose my mind
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
we'll be on that topic all night long.
Yeah,
we'll be
I'll lose
we'll
my
be
mind.
comparing childhood traumas. That's what
Yeah,
we will be doing.
exactly. Exactly. No way. No. Oh my God, I would be so upset. That's horrendous. Because I know they used to call my mother Monkey because my mother was dark skinned, and my mother used to be called Monkey all the time. So that shit triggers me. That shit triggers me. Anyway.
But as a society, we're easy to jump to judgments. We're
Yes.
easy to be swayed. I hate to say that, but we are. We are easy to be swayed when it becomes played on our fears. Take a look at okay, here's another example of how the media tries to portray people against, not portray, but put people against people. Remember the right to repair law that involved Tesla's and Apple products? They had it on a commercial that if you did not go to the service center to do repair on your cars, a predator would be able to get into your car and R you. Like, how is that right? How is that okay?
I'm sorry, Dom. You're right. It's not okay. It's not right. You're fucking right. It's not okay.
No,
You're
I
right.
know you got a call. I saw that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
annoying. Sorry.
companies put that out there to work on people's fear.
Yeah, they do that. Yep. Intimidation, make you afraid. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
Now, I'm on the notion that, I'll say this, okay? And this is the perfect example of what I'm like. I don't trust anybody until I get to know you. But
Right.
at the same time, I'm not going to pass judgment just because I don't, just because I met you. Does that make sense? You don't have to trust anybody.
Right.
But at the same time, you need to keep your judgments at bay because you don't know what they went through.
True.
You don't know what they are going through.
True.
There's there's a big difference between being untrustworthy and judgmental.
Yep. You're right.
And Teresa and Mayor will tell you, when I'm on one of my moods, I can be one of the most judgmental motherfuckers on the planet. Okay, I can be when I'm going through my mood.
Right.
If I see somebody on YouTube that I don't like or agree with, I will automatically make a judgment about them. And that judgment 9 out of 10 times can be wrong.
Yeah, I think we all do that as human beings, though, right? You know what I mean? We pass judgments, and I get that. I try not to do that too much because I've been judged a lot in my life without people even taking the time to really get to know me, So I get that.
I'm learning on my behavior not to judge a book by its cover, but if you fuck me over, the gloves are coming off.
Yeah, I hear you. I ain't gonna fuck you over. Trust me. I know. I'll be very afraid. Trust me.
But it's kind of like the same thing as well.
Yeah, I get it. Hold on, Dom.
Yeah, Jen, you don't have to trust anybody, but at the same time, you don't need to judge everybody. I understand that people go through situations which makes them, think of the world around them as a dark place. I understand that. The point that I'm trying to say is that you don't have to trust anybody without you don't have to trust anybody. You can go, I don't trust this person, but you also don't have to judge them either.
You're right.
It's the same sense. And Selfie Queen, I'm not going to throw you underneath the bus, and if I offend you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know some parts of your past. I know some parts of your family's past.
Yes.
But I also don't mean to offend anybody else in chat.
Mm-hmm.
But a perfect example is this. If a person goes to jail, it can be for the slightest little thing,
right.
Whether it be shoplifting, whether it would be, whatever. They can go to jail for a non-offensive crime.
Right.
Or not a non-offensive, but
non-violent.
a
Non-violent.
nonviolent crime.
Right.
And once they get out, regardless if it's a nonviolent crime or a violent crime, there's no distinction between the two.
No.
They take a look at you and go, well, you were in jail, so you must have done something horribly bad.
Exactly.
They don't care about your story. They automatically judge you.
Yes.
And they go, well, you were in jail, so it must have been something really horrific.
Yes, you're right. No, you're 100% right. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's the same thing. You don't have to trust them, but also don't judge them.
That's right.
Because if they went, you know, let's face it, not everybody is trustworthy or honest.
No,
okay, let's face it. But if you come across a criminal that, you know, just got out and they said that they were in jail for, I don't know, dealing marijuana, the happy grass or whatever.
Right.
You know, there are ways to look up the crime if you want to know what they went in for. But
what they were charged for, right? Because remember, what you were charged with may not be what you were found guilty of. Because
exactly.
Sometimes you plead out and you plead to something different. You know what I mean? Like me, I was charged with something else and found guilty, or I pled out to something else because my lawyer basically worked for the state. I swear to God, but it happens, and I know that my past has been used against me. You know that, but somebody that I trusted, that I thought was my friend, was telling people, "Oh, she's an addict. I can't trust her. I could never trust her. She was once an addict." Like, huh? What? You're a piece of shit. At least I had an excuse of what was wrong with me in the past. What's your excuse? You're just a straight piece of shit. So
yeah. You know, you cannot judge a book by its cover, but like at the same time, as I said, you don't trust anybody wholeheartedly either.
No, very true. Until they earn it. People have to earn your trust.
Yeah, you know, I'm under the notion, look, I'll give you a chance, but if you fuck it over, that's on you for what happens afterwards.
Right? Definitely. You're right. No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easier to say not to trust anyone than judge. I know it's easier said than done.
Right.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But when it comes to everything as a whole, you know, it's the same for homelessness. When you see a family out there, you know, they could have became homeless because their house burned down, or they could have became homeless because, you know, no fault of their own, they lost their job and they couldn't find work,
or they had a fire, right? You know, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So with a lot of things, like I said, you don't have to trust them, but don't judge them either.
That's right. That's right. Me, it was my bad choices that led me to become homeless, because I was an addict and, you know, nothing else mattered but my addiction, sadly. And I became homeless. But I got clean and I worked my butt off, and I've been in my apartment 20 years, and, you know, I changed. So I don't think that everybody's, you know, being homeless is not an indicator of a bad person. It's just a person that had bad circumstances or a bad situation.
Yeah, and to Jen, you're fine. You don't need to apologize. I know what you were trying to say. I do. But also on the mindset of what's going on around in the world, I'm not asking a victim to put down their defenses either.
No,
I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm just saying that you know, I understand that you're a victim. I know you have reservations.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm just saying, you know, have an open mind. I mean, it's like, I know when you're a victim, things change for you. I mean,
and you're not a victim, you're a survivor. You're a survivor, Jen.
Yeah, and I like that. That word is better, survivor.
Yes, you're a survivor.
But like I said, you know, it's like this. And I've said this before. When you go through something traumatic, you never get over it.
No.
There is no getting over it.
You carry that trauma. You can learn to cope with it, but
But yeah, you can cope with it, but you'll never get rid of it.
no. Mm-mm. No.
And some days are harder than others. It's an ongoing battle.
I agree.
I'm
Yep.
just saying that as a society as a whole, the judgmental phase needs to be taken out. Once you get rid of the judgmental phase, things may become a little bit easier. But we live in a society, thanks to media and propaganda. And let's face it, the media is propaganda.
Definitely.
Okay, you can't have it any other way. It's propaganda,
Yes.
and that propaganda fuels our fears, our deepest and darkest, scariest places.
Yep. You're right. You're definitely right about that too.
And until we can learn to ignore what people are, until we ignore what people think we need to hear and start listening to our inner selves,
Mm-hmm.
it may not get better. But to the people out there that are making it better or trying to make it better, we shouldn't put them down either.
I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah. I definitely agree, Dom.
Don't make it harder for humans to be humanitarians.
Yes. You're right.
That and the government Irish. Yeah, that yeah, we already know that.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not monetized.
I know. Oh, you would have been in trouble. This video would have been demonetized with the quickness.
I know, or I would have lost my channel.
They'd have been like, "What is he talking about?" No. Oh my God.
We all have different fears, but we have to learn to control those fears. We have to learn to go, okay, this may have happened, but reality wise, we have to keep a defense up, but
Yes.
we don't have to be shut off from the world around us.
True. We just have to be more guarded and more careful with ourselves and more aware of our surroundings, because not everybody wishes us well. There are people that seek out to destroy and do harm, but then there are people who also seek out to help heal. There are people that sincerely want to help heal, because in helping heal others, it kind of helps heal themselves.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there are also those people as well.
Oh my God, can I bang my head now? Now I have the dog howling at the door.
Aw.
The door is not going to attack you. Just because I whacked you with it earlier by accident doesn't mean.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's like, I don't like this door no more. No.
And what? It's not as bad as it sounds, people. I was trying to let them out to go to the
I know you have to
bathroom,
fix that, because
and
they
he
will
got
call
behind
PETA.
the door and
They'll
he
call
got
PETA on your ass tomorrow.
whacked by it.
Like, he's abusing his dogs. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Compassion goes a long way.
Definitely. Compassion and empathy, goes a long way. I'm hungry, Dom. What did you eat? Pizza? Damn it, I'm hungry.
Oh, Selfie Queen Cindy. Yeah, I had a Hawaiian pizza with extra pineapple.
Suck. You suck so badly. I gotta run out to the store now at this time to get something to eat, because I'm starving. My son is starving too. He's like, "Mom, I'm hungry, lady. I'm hungry, lady." I'm like, "God, no."
Now, I do have to end this shortly because I do have to let the dogs out. I was hoping to stay on for 2
Let
hours,
them
but
go now.
but I decided to make this a part one
Mhm.
because I think this is a conversation we do have to revisit.
Yes.
because this is something people need to be involved with. But tomorrow, I get to have fun annoying the hell out of Cindy. So I hope y'all will be there.
Yes.
Because guess what comes tomorrow, Cindy?
Urban Dictionary. What comes from?
No. You're in my Discord. What did I show you that I made you jealous of?
Oh yes. Oh my God, the nail art. I can't wait.
We will be doing the unboxing tomorrow, and Cindy is going to be up on my panel with me
God,
while I'm unboxing it.
I'm so excited. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. Yes. That's right up my alley. I love it. I'm so excited, Dom.
Oh my God, Lisa! I cooked a ham and pineapple pizza today, and then fell asleep after.
Oh my God, she got the itis.
Oh my God. But this is a topic that we do need to discuss because it's not going, like I said, it's not a one conversation or a one idea is not an end all be all. But as society, there are things that we can do to help limit somebody else's misfortunes.
Mm-hmm.
And we as a society should be able to freely do what we want without the tyranny or without the fear of a repercussion.
Right. You're right.
I know it's a very serious topic. I know a lot of people prefer my drama streams when I'm going after people. But we need to have serious conversations because that's what YouTube is lacking. Is the seriousness behind these conversations.
Yes, I agree.
We need to have a place where we can, throw ideas out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't like pineapple on pizza either. But I'm hungry. It sounded good because, when you're hungry, it sounds good. I'm like, listen, it sounds good. I'm hungry. But I don't really like pineapple. I mean, I guess I've never tried it. I don't know.
How could you have not tried pineapple?
Because it's pineapple on pizza. It just seems wrong. I don't know.
It's not wrong.
That's a whole debate. There's people that will flip on me for saying that. I know.
It's the holy grail of pizzas.
Me too, Sassy. Just give me some pepperoni and extra cheese and I'm good to go. That's all I want.
Oh, Lord, you people need help.
Or some mushrooms and broccoli on a pizza with some, I could do all of that.
Oh, my God, you people need help. You people need help.
It's just wrong. Damn it. Nobody want no damn pineapple.
It's not gross. It's good.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, my God. Lord, you need to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
Anyways, I gotta end this now because I gotta let my dogs out, and Cindy is hungry. She needs to go to the store.
Starving.
So I appreciate everybody who came. I'm doing an unboxing tomorrow. I've got my community tab, and I'm working on my schedule.
Congratulations, Tom. I'm so happy for you, for real.
So I will be working on my schedule, and I'll be trying to stick with it. But you all have a great night, and we shall see you all very soon.
Good night, guys. Thank you for having me.
Good night, Cindy. Thank you for coming up here.
Love you, sweetheart.
About time you joined me. Oh,
I know. Love you. I'm going to let you say goodbye. I'm going to drop. Bye, puppy.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.